All right, if you can hear me, put a one in the chat, please. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. So this one's gonna be mainly for the swing traders, right? And just kind of give insight to like my process of finding plays. Obviously, if you're not using scanners or anything like that, um my recommendation is to start out with the sectors, right? Starting from the sectors and working your way in. I'll be dropping the sector review later on after I'm done with this, right? So obviously you want to see where the money's flowing. You start out wide and then you work your way in. You see where the money's flowing, whether it be XLK, whether it be XLB, XLC, just whatever industry, the money doesn't go away. It just flow rotates to um into the next sector, right? So I would start out from there. If not, if you're using Think or Swim, there's definitely a lot of strat scripts out there if you want to use that, or if you're looking for any other type of scripts. One of the things for swing trading that I recommend is when we're coming close to a close of a higher time frame candle, that's where we want to start, doing our scan. So here we've just completed the third week of September, right? We have one more week left before not only does the month close, but then also we are going to move into a new quarter, right? So we also want to start looking at quarterly scans as well too, not just the monthly scans. And you kind of do that, um, you kind of do that as things are closing, right? So if it's coming to the end of the month, if I'm in the last week of the month, maybe on that Wednesday, I'm gonna go ahead and do some scans or look at, maybe some of my favorite tickers and start looking at how the month is closing. Remember, whether you strat or ICT, or honestly, for most strategies, unless it's like scalping, but from a swing standpoint, the higher time frames is what you pay attention to, and then you set up your trade within the lower time frames, right? So we like to see what the quarter is doing, what the month is doing, so that can set, well, excuse me, what the quarter, month, and week are doing, so that can set up our daily, um, right? Because we're using the higher time frames really to get our bias, right? What's the higher time frames doing? Are they in full time frame continuity? Are they in confirmation? In other words, are they all showing the same thing? And then afterwards, you'll use that to frame your lower time frame. Excuse me, your lower time frame bias. If there's any tickers y'all want to look at, like we can use as an example, that's fine. If not, what I'm about to do is just run one of my hammers and shooter scan. I'm gonna take it off of my. All right. So, uh,
Hey, hold up.
yes,
Is
sir.
it a way that you can show them how to scan it on TOS or
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me a second. Let me hold up. Let me
not? My bad. Only reason I ask, man, because it's like I'm gonna do a session on and show them. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but I'm gonna record a session and show them exactly how I find my particular day trades, scalps, etc.
right.
And they could use it, also for swing trades or whatever time frames that I, more or less focus on as well. You know what I
Ab-
mean? I feel
Absolutely.
like it's fairly simple, to have them, to be more self sufficient versus just looking for call outs, and different things of that nature.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So, I have this coded to my personal. Um, if you want like help on how to input the script, bringing it into TOS, I can show you that in a later class. But essentially, what I'm doing is I have a list. If I go to load scan query, I have a list, a bunch of personal lists that I can go through for the strat. So like if I'm looking for potential rev strats, right? I'm in a like let's say I want it to the upside. I might look for a 1-2 down type scan, right? If I'm looking for it to the downside, basically if I'm looking for any potential rev strat, I'm looking at the 1-2 first to see whatever could set up for that potential rev strat. If I wanted to see Nirvana's, I'm not gonna go through everything, but y'all could see it because 3 1s, whatever, right? So Um, I normally like to look at setups that are like pivot machine guns because from a swing standpoint, um, what I'm ideally looking for is like retracements, right? And then I could target a really big swing up at the top at that previous high. So let's just do hammers and shooters for now. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose ham shoot. And right now I have it coded to my personal list, but if I wanted to just see like all stocks, right? And I wanted to change, like for you guys, if you don't have your own list, right? If I wanted to include, where is it? I want to include weeklies, right? Because I don't just I'm not really interested in any type of monthly expirations only. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to weeklies, and then if I want to exclude anything, where is it? Actually, no, that's good, right? So then I would just do a search. Oh, I forgot to choose the time frame. My apologies. If I wanted to see from a swing standpoint, I'd probably be looking at either the day, the week, the month, or the quarter. So for this one, we would look at, let's say, the month. Go ahead and do a scan for it, right? So at the top of the list is actually one of the tickers that I'm getting ready to do analysis on for this week. I had started looking at it on Friday, which would be AVGO, right? And so I'll just go through, once I identify what I might be wanting to look at, or what you could do is once you like, let's say you do your sector scan and then you see, um, like let's say for example, technology is about to rise, right? It's about to run up. Then what you could do is if you with your thinkorswim run a scan and whatever, like if you're looking for a particular setup and whatever of that technology sector pops up, maybe that's the one to go look at, right? See how you can frame your trade. But okay, so we have ABGO. Let me go ahead and switch my screen back to thinkorswim. I'm sorry, not thinkorswim, trading view. So AVGO, and let me get rid of get rid of all my drawings. Okay, so we ran it for the monthly, right? So what that scan shows is any hammers and shooters on the current time frame that I'm looking for, right? So if I'm looking at AVGO on the month, right now we're inside month, right? I know we say don't play inside day, but inside month is not so bad when it comes to swing setups because you're giving yourself more time. So don't be afraid to trade, during inside months. Especially when you got this month currently showing obviously the exhaustion from the downside, right? So we're currently inside candle on the month thus far. What we're looking for is either this week we go 2-2. Actually, I'm sorry, for this week we go 1-2-2. Let me make it bigger. Actually, stretch it out this way, really. There we go. So for this month, we're looking at a potential to go 1-2-2, right? What I would then do is mark out what would be my monthly high, or in other words, for strat, it would be my monthly call entry, which would be 172.42. So we know that if we take that, we've now gone 1-2-2 rev strat, right? I'm not really going to mark out the downside because we're right now currently above the 50% of this previous candle. And obviously, we're on a kind of on a bullish trend. So I don't really see us dropping down, like completely taking out obviously the monthly lows, dropping all the way down to 126 in the next week. So under normal circumstances, I would, but for in the interest of this particular session, not really going to mark that out, right? So then what I would do is go to the weekly, or for those of you that are savvy enough, you'll check out some of the hybrid time frames as well. So what I would do is go to the weekly and just kind of take a look at what's going on. Right now we got a 3-2, right? What did we do? We ended up retracing a little bit. Probably going to be in OTE range. Just curious. Oh, my bad. Oh, there you go. Yep. Dropped all the way down into OTE range on the weekly. So I think this is called turtle soup. Still learning that concept, but if it is turtle soup reversal back to the highs.
Hold up. Man, I'd rather you not, I'm gonna say get into the turtle soup stuff. Only reason I ask, is that because a lot of them don't understand, the basics of the ICT. And like when you mention something like turtle soup, I know, you know, you're not intentionally trying to do it, but that's when they gonna be like, oh fuck, I need to go learn the turtle soup. You know,
Ah, okay, makes sense, makes sense.
they gonna have they more or less they gonna have analysis paralysis with it.
Okay, makes sense. So I'll keep it mainly strat, right? We'll take away the OTE entry. But from a strat perspective, right now we got the 3-2 up, right? So the expectation is with the quarter, the month, even though they're inside, right? With the quarter, the month, and the week going in our favor, the expectation is that we're going to continue higher, right? That would be the expectation. We'll either continue higher, exhaust, and come back down, or we'll continue pushing. Higher time frames so far setting up the bias that we are bullish. All right. Now we come into, I'm sorry, before we move forward, what I'll do is mark out my weekly entry. And then I'm also, just in case of potential reversal, although we're not expecting it, we do need to trade objectively though, meaning that we need to be prepared for both sides, right? So I would mark
Yeah.
out, oh,
And the
right,
key to that, I'll say like this: that when you're trading, especially swing trading, day trading, scalping, or whatever, of course you can have a bias, but don't marry the bias. I mean, something that may happen in Kuwait, Iraq, Asia, whatever, may change the whole trajectory in the market sentiment. We have a lot of geopolitical events. You have the election stuff that can change the whole dynamics of things, like within a drop of a dime. And you'll simply pivot and go the other way. And that's more or less why he's speaking on, you know, um, trade objectively.
right,
Of course, we have myself personally too. I have a lot of bias or whatever, but I'm not marrying that bias. You know what I'm saying? If something happened, I'm simply gonna switch gears and play the stuff the other way. And as a trader, is imperative that you don't just, I'm gonna say, fall in love with being a bull. More or less. And I see a lot of people on Twitter, more or less, and I'm not talking crap about anyone, but they're just predominantly bulls, or they're great traders. But when the downside or the bear side comes, it's like they have more or less they eyes caught in the head like a deer.
yeah. So I mean, and that's one of that's a part of the strap, one of the strap principles, not the official, but like it's ingrained into it, hardlined into it, which is, trade objectively, not subjectively. And yeah, Sal is right. Don't be married to the bias. You like right now it could be, again, we're looking at AVGO and we're setting up a bullish bias, but we also want to be prepared. Again, anything can happen and completely flip, right? So in this case, we got the weekly price targets matched marked out. So if we take weekly entry to the put side 160.41, our next target we're expecting is 134.90. Um, there's also the 50% retrace, but in I don't want to do, like I said, I don't really want to have people like looking at, we'll show that on a different class, but there as part of the strat, there's also the halfway point of the candle as well too. So far 3-2, right? Inside possible 1-2-2 rev strat on the month. We're 3-2 up on the week, and then here we go on the daily. We have a 2-2 continuation, right? We TTO to the upside, taking out this candle's high, right? We addressed this high, however, we haven't gotten past it yet, but the expectation is that we would go 2-2 continuation heading into possible. Well, we would be set up for a 2-2 continuation, setting up for Monday, right? So again, actually, no, the weekly entry is the same as the daily entry, so I'm not going to remark that out. Um, and if we were to go to the downside, excuse me, if we were to go to the downside, 166.47, what we would do is, again, if we trigger the day entry at 166.47, then our next target is going to be weekly entry at 160.41. And then if you're looking to swing that out, again, you can start looking at, again, obviously a swing with time, but you could start looking at a swing like that down to 134.90. And that's how you would kind of formulate your plan. If you wanted to go further in, like let's say take entry off the 4 hour, then it would be basically the same exact thing. You would kind of mark out your entries and just see what's setting up. So far on every single time frame for the strat, we've seen either bullish trend continuation or a potential bullish setup. So again, the month, the 122 rev strat. Bullish continuation is that 3-2 on the weekly, also the 2-2 continuation on the daily. And then here we are on the 4 hour, we actually get a 122 rev strat as well too. So next would be choosing your contracts, right? So I'm actually looking at something a month out for AVGO, right? If I really were to look at, you know, monthly targets as well too, 177.10 would be the monthly target that I would first look at, and then next would be, oh, my bad. Next would be all-time highs at 185.16. Let me change that real quick to target, right? So if we're going a month out, we know it's quite possible to actually get to the all-time highs because of the ATR of AVGO being almost $8 a day, right? So we're currently at 171. What's that? About 14, yeah, $14 or so, 15 bucks, right? That's possible to get done in a week. Okay. So for this, I would say you can probably be a little bit more, I don't want to say crazy aggressive without the money, but because of the fact that its ATR is high, you can probably go up a couple strikes, or if good enough, or if you have a tool like Flow, see where that money's going. Um, so for me, what I'm looking at is the 1018 contract, right? And I'm looking starting from the 185, but I'm also looking at the, sorry, one second, I'm trying to pull it up on Thinkorswim. I'm also looking at the 200 call, um, looking at the 200 call for AVGO as well too. And again, just simply because its ATR is rather high, so I know that it can definitely move. Also, it's relatively small account friendly as far as the contract, so it's something that everybody could be a part of. But I do also have to tell you, obviously, when you choose strikes further out the money, the more risk there is with it getting there. You don't need it to exactly hit 200. To be honest with you, just need it to consistently move in your favor. So it doesn't actually have to end up hitting that 200. Or if you wanted to again get something closer to the money, the 190 is looking like asking is 182 per Thinkorswim. And then the 185, if you want to go like safety, would be the 300. But that's essentially how I would start working my way from the outside in the higher time frames, and start setting up my targets, right? So if I know that if I take daily entry, which is also the weekly entry at 172, right, I'm going a month out. So, obviously I'm going to give it time. My next expectation is that we're going to go after this 177.10, right? And I know that the magnet is going to be, that all-time high. So, at this point, the 185.16, that's where my expectation would be after it takes out the 177.10 as well, too. Is there any questions on that? Yep. Is there any questions on that? Oh, let me see. My bad. What made you choose a monthly target on AVGO instead of a day? Because I'm looking to swing it, Anthony. I'm looking to go a month out. Yes, there is definitely a play. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm going to answer that question. 1 second. Got to take care of something real quick. 30 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. So yeah, Anthony, because I'm looking for it more from a swing. Now, if you wanted to, John, I'm gonna get to your question. Now, if you wanted to, work it from, the 4 hour to use, I guess, a daily entry, absolutely. I'll probably look at the hour too if I'm looking at purely just a daily entry, if I'm trying to do weeklies, just see what the hour's doing. And again, you have a little bit of exhaustion, but that's still a two up. Even though it ended bearish, it's still a two up. So again, we trade objectively. So if it reverses, cool, but we're not going to automatically anticipate that that's what's going to, excuse me, that is what's going to happen. On the 4 hour, again, you get the 122 rev strat, and then on the daily, you get the continuation. So if you wanted to use that, the weekly entry again as a daily entry, well, the weekly and the daily are the same. If you want to use that as entry, cool. Um, and then pretty much go from there and then set up your weekly targets. If we were to go weekly, I would probably say once we trigger that weekly of 172.02, you could probably look at the 180s. Or if you want to be a little bit risky, you could probably look at the 185, but it's me. I like time. I like time. So John, let me get to your question real quick. Yeah, but I'm also not talking about that. That's more of an ICT concept. So I'm trying to keep it, Sal had made a good point. If I start talking about different terminology, then you're gonna have people trying to look it up. And I think it needs to be just basics for now. But yes, potentially, yeah, it could be. And again, we have safety set up for that, which is we don't trade subjectively, right? So if and also you don't have to be the first one in. That's one thing I wanted to talk about, especially with swing trading, right? You don't have to be the first one in. So I'm definitely looking at this. I'm definitely going to keep it on the radar for sure, just like Adobe, which is on a trade watch, because even if it triggers, you don't have to rush and get in. You can wait for a retracement, so that she can tell you, the move is real, right? Because it could just be a run up only to just fall back down. And a lot of people think, oh, yeah, we're about to run. And that's how you get screwed on the swing trading standpoint. They are dangerous to swing trading, which is, that. So not being the first one in, we can definitely wait, even if it wants to pull back. Like I, obviously saw a little bit of exhaustion there on the hour. So if it wants to pull back on a smaller time frame, that's cool. We'll still keep watching. If anything, it might end up giving us a better entry. If we, like, for example, pulled back on Monday, so long as the trend is still bullish, that's fine. And you actually kind of want that. You want retracement on a smaller time frame. Um, what the higher time frame bias is. Eventually the larger time frames or the higher time frames are going to win out. So when you see something, like if you're looking at a swing setup like this based on, the week, the month, and the quarter, when you see something on the daily, like if it's a red day, for me, I don't want to say I get excited, but like that's an opportunity right there. For me, at that point, I'm really just looking for retracement, possibly with a hammer, or a 2-2 reversal or something like that, so I can get in on that and then go from there. And it'll be, in reverse if we were talking about, full time frame continuity being bearish, and then let's say the day is green. So, eventually what you'll be looking for is for that reversal on the smaller time frame to correct itself, um, and go with, what trend is trying to go with. Hopefully that answers your questions. Um, I mean, we could run through one more. Um, so I'm coming back to a scan. I think number 2 on the list is Dell, and I think Sal had said something about Dell. So let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick.
Yeah, I actually think Dell will pay this week.
Right.
But to be on the safe side, choose a further out week. Also, you know, I'll say this here: things are looking bullish, but let's, you know, be real as well. September is generally historically a bearish month. So anything could happen. Don't go too heavy in any of these plays or whatever. And Dell is not something that I feel that you can go out the money on a lot. Go like $2 out the strike range, at, if need be or whatever. Also choose the you know, choose your strike prices based on the ATR. ATR stands for average clearing.
You know, so Monday, it's not Monday, whoa, monthly, right? And you can see why Salah's picking this out. Let me get rid of any draws. You can see why Salah's picking this out just purely just looking at the monthly alone. We fill this gap here, right? Obviously reattempt to try to come down. That didn't work, so we end up with a 2-2 reversal. Actually, this would have actually been a good, not good, but this is your actionable signal right here, this hammer. So if you were trading on, let's say, I'd probably say like a 3 to 6 month basis, right? This is probably an entry, or even for leaps for that matter, this is probably an entry that you would take, right? This would be your monthly. Where is it? This would be your monthly call entry right here, right? So once that triggers, that's what you would take. And then again, if you're trading purely on a monthly time frame, that's where your first target would be, that 150.20, excuse me, that 150.23. Now, if we were to zoom into the week, right? So on the week, we get a 212, right? After we go three, we get the nice drop. We come back inside. And also, if you look here to the left, you actually have a pivot machine gun. So what a pivot machine gun is, this is actually a pivot machine gun to the upside. It's when you have 5 or more consecutive lower highs, um, for a pivot machine gun to the upside. In other words, a bullish pivot machine gun. So what we'd look for, is to target, like on the reversal, every single one of these highs would be a target to be taken out, right? And the idea is that um with the run like that, there will be, more. I guess the only way I know how to say it is really liquidity, and price should run through all of this to get to the next price target, or the next high in this case, or the next low if we were thinking bearish. Now, obviously, this may not be done in one candle, but the idea is like little resistance through this run up. All right. So again, on the weekly, we get the 212 to the upside. So every single one of these targets, 129.87 would be your next target. Now that we've taken out 2 out of the 5 targets on the pivot machine gun. Um, on the daily, we actually reach a high, and then it looks like we wanted to retrace a little bit to end up still bullish. It's still a 2 down though. So again, trade objectively, not subjectively. It's still a 2 down, right? Even though it ends bullish. So yes, there is a chance that we get a 2-2 reversal, but then there's also a chance that it can break to the downside. Let me pause here. Yep, it does.
Yeah, Anthony, that's exactly, I wanted to mention that, but it just looked like a good step up, you know.
I mean, oof, yeah. but like I
Now
know
you see
Sal.
that fair value gap right there where he is at, man. So it could realistically dig down into it and then launch back up.
Yep. And then
Long as you don't close, long as the candles don't close up under it, you're totally fine.
yep,
Stay in that play. And so you can be risky and take a weekly, or you can be more safe and take, a contract further out.
yep,
Of course, it'll cost more, but as a trader as well, it'll be more safer. Now the weeklies, I mean, you may see some people, in trades like that with weeklies and shit, have these higher percentages, but how consistent can you be, trading weeklies? You know, Trading, I feel like, is more of a game of probabilities. And when you put the probabilities on your side, you stand to, you know, have more profits, more or less.
yep. And then you're just giving yourself, the more time is really just giving yourself more of a chance. I mean, that's the way I look at it, because I'm giving it time. With the time that I choose, that that ticker has multiple chances to get to that target. If we do it, and if we do just weeklies or whatever, it might attempt once, but not really attempt that same high probably for like another 5 or 6 days. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I know y'all have experienced that where you're just like, damn, I should have gotten more money. I should have gotten more time because it actually ended up hitting what I was supposed to hit. And so let me be clear, I'm not bashing weeklies either, right? I'm just saying the time is again more of a little bit of a safety. So if we're thinking bullish here, right? Daily entry would be 119. Your first, strat wise, your first target is going to be that 120 or the 123.53. So I'll probably say, if you want to, like Sal said, only go a couple dollars out, but if you want to choose the 120, or if you're giving yourself more time, I'd probably say look at the 125s. Again, $1 to $2 away from the strike. And there would be an attack of a gap fill right here. So this imbalance, I kind of look at them, I guess, as kind of magnets, if you will, like price would be attracted to try to fill that. It may reject, it may, pull through, or excuse me, push through, but I know that price wants to attempt at least, getting near it, or attempt first, right? So this would be, since the drop after that gap fill, this will be the first attempt at it. And we'll see how price wants to react once it gets there. So you can definitely mark that out as well too. Let me see. I'll buy a good chunk of stock. Yep.
Hey, look, Tensho, pull up. All right. So he says, look at Google monthly
Oh
2
yeah,
week
yeah, yeah,
already.
yeah. That's
But
actually a. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
nah,
I'll.
you good? Cause you good. Dr- Drake is cold blooded. I'll say that, but I also want you to look at OKTA. That's out of the bug sector.
Octa. Yeah. Um, so yeah, Drake, just to answer you real quick. I don't know if you saw my channel, but yes, I wanted to go get the only thing holding me back from getting that 170 call for 1018 was FOMC. It's only because I didn't know how that was going to play out. But I do actually intend to put that back on, I guess, watch or trade idea, because I want to go get it. I want to go get, hopefully we get some sort of a pullback maybe earlier part of this week, but I definitely want to go get that. But yeah, real quick with Google, here's why, and I'm glad that you co-signing on it, right? But um, here's why, right? Here's what I'm seeing that was forming with Google, and why I ultimately wanted to look at a monthly swing. So far, I know the month is not done, but we setting up a hammer. Oh, also, I believe XLC was what originally got me into communications, and Google's in the communication sector. So I started off with XLC when I was doing the sector review, and then yeah, I got onto Google. The monthly is giving you, that's an actionable signal right there, and this is on retracement. Not going to talk about OTE because again, ICT, but we'll do that in another class. We can talk about, because I've been saying that we're going to do it. So OTE entry possibly, right? On the week, we get that 2-2 reversal as well too strong. We got a volume imbalance. Sorry, ICT. Ignore, my bad. Sorry. Shit. My bad, Sal. Um 2-2 reversal back to the upside. And from the weekly, excuse me, let me get here. This is where I would be targeting, which is why I chose that 170, right? I'm sorry, not weekly entry. That's actually gonna be weekly price target, right? So 168, and then the next one on the weekly is gonna be 174.25. Obviously, your weekly entry would be here. If you want to the downside, if we do trigger the week down, and it's like I'm talking about week close in force, then honestly your next target's going to be down here at 147. So I would probably start looking at the 150 puts if we were to take the week down, and again close in force. Weekly price target that way, right? 147.22. But Drake did say the 2 week, my bad. Yeah, so monthly is giving you hammer, 2 week is giving you a beautiful. Actually, did the 2 week close? Monday. Damn, it did. It did. Okay, never mind. I was gonna say potential to go outside, but yeah. Either way, that sets us up for a 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Did we get something?
Potential outside on the 4 week.
Huh? It went outside on the 4 week?
No, it's potential outside on the 4 week.
Potential. Okay, good,
Yeah, I
good,
think
good.
maybe the 3 and the 4.
Instead of mentioning OTE, you may just mention Golden Zone Winter. Thank you, Angie. Always thinking outside the box. Love it.
Drake, is that one of those boom bitches?
Oh, what?
He know what I'm
Hey,
talking
that
about.
Google
He
that
know
can.
he
No, Google
man,
can.
look, he
Google
know
can be a
exactly what I'm talking
BBP.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Google
Google
can.
can be a
Google
BBP.
definitely can. I swear,
100%.
I swear to God, it was only because of freaking FO. If we did not have FOMC, I'd probably do some style like load the boat type shit. Like really recommend load the boat type shit. No, for real, because Google, like it's just beautiful. It really is, right? Starting is like all the way. I think I even looked. So I saw the exhaustion on the quarter, right? And then I started looking at, I'm like, okay, what's that turning into on the month? And then yeah, it's just beautiful. I'm sorry. Let's go to the daily real quick. So the daily actually even gave us an insight. I mean, look, man, look, I must say we trade objectively, but I'll be surprised. It would have to be news driven, or maybe even want to fill the gap if we try to go bearish. But everything about Google is screaming bullish. And we still got room to the upside. Again, while I was choosing the 170s because of that high right there. But if you wanted to go with daily entry, the daily entry is just slightly below weekly entry. Put daily entry, where is it? Daily entry is just like, so if you want to take the weekly entry, it's literally a difference of 6 cents. Just to keep the chart a little clean, I would probably delete it, but yeah, I'll probably take the weekly entry, and then your next target to the upside is actually going to be up here at 165. So if you wanted to do weeklies, 165, I mean, honestly, with its ATR, it could probably get to 170 this week. I'm probably going to change up the strike price now that I know FOMC is done. I'm probably going to look at the 175s instead of the 170s for October 18th. But yeah, I believe this is a good swing. Um, there's also earnings coming up around that time as well too, near that expiration date. So you might be catching the earnings. I know it's not always a guarantee, but you might be potentially catching an earnings run up. But again, same process, right? We started from the outside and we started, framing the bias, if you will. And then again, you use your smaller time frames for entries, and then also again just to look for setups. Now, it may not have to have exactly an actionable signal, but if you have like a strat combo set up there, as a matter of fact, we actually still do, because this can actually be a 2-1-2 continuation. But yeah, I mean, beautifully given us two actionable signals in one inside hammer. Yeah, so Google and AVGO, keeping it a stack, are probably going to be on the top of my list for this week's swing entries. Um, and then I'm probably gonna. I mean, most of the contracts are probably going to be small account friendly, but I'll try to, include a small account friendly ticker. Just keeping a stack. I could be totally wrong for doing this, but because of the time, I'm still in Intel. Because of the time, I do have an invalidation point. If anybody's still in it with me, you can DM me. I'll let you know where I'm looking to cut if it continues up. But it's still, if I'm not mistaken, it's still rejected that gap. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm not being stubborn. I actually have reasons for staying in it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless anybody. Oh, Sax, I think you said you, right? And then I'm sorry, Okta. My apologies, Sal. So let me go to Unity real quick. So let's start from the outside and work our way in. All right, so this will actually be a good example of showing, how the lows are taken out. So what you're really working with is coming from the bottom of a broadening formation. Actually, technically, it would have been from there, from that low, right? So as you can see, broadening formation is being respected. I'm sorry, let me see what's up in the chat. You had a PMG also. Perfect. Yeah, we can definitely look at that for sure. Oh, yeah. You're talking about right now. Yes, absolutely. So from a monthly and again, I want to be clear. Pivot machine guns does not always guarantee that, every single high is going to get hit. To be honest with you, you don't really need to do that, especially if you're choosing a strike price. Um, if you're just choosing it with time. So you don't need it to get all the way to the top, right? But there's definitely a lot of liquidity here, so there shouldn't be too much resistance on the way up. It's kind of what you're seeing like right here, right? That big drop. This is actually a pivot machine gun right here. Actually, no, I'm sorry. This high is higher than that. But if it were, again, you're seeing this candle here just pretty much take out most of the targets in one shot. Um, on the monthly, we get that 2-2 reversal, right? Two down, 2-2 reversal. Um, I wouldn't really call it a hammer, right? Because the body's more than 33%. I'm sorry, was somebody trying to say something? Okay, accident. So monthly high would be here. And I do also want to say you still want to trade objectively here. You don't want to just automatically assume like, hey, we're coming from all-time lows. This is a guaranteed run up, right? Because it could still continue to reach for lower lows, right? Let me change this to monthly, put entry there. And then your monthly target would actually be down here for the downside, monthly price target, and then up here to the upside for the next monthly price target. There you go. All right. So then we're going to go into the weekly. And on the week, right, we get nice consolidation. Finally get a breakout taking out this high here. So we get the 2-2 continuation. Expectation would be that, we continue up. No real signs of exhaustion, really. Actually, this is a pivot machine. Nope, that's a 3 candle. Never mind. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's your pivot machine gun right there. So still some targets to be taken out on the way up for the weekly, but you know, weekly entry here, there. That's your weekly entry to the upside and weekly entry to the downside. And this will become repetition. There's obviously indicators out there that'll do this for you, but I think it's good to practice so that you can, after a while, you'll really just start seeing it with your eyes. You won't really have to put it on your chart. But it's still good practice, right? Repetition is key, doing it over and over and over again until we get it down. So first weekly price target would be 21.75. Obviously, with an ATR higher than that, I would probably look at this more so as my first weekly price target. Obviously, that one's just very, very close. Right. If we were to go to the put side, if for whatever reason we get that reversal to the downside, 1923, and then if you're trying to swing it, 16 puts will probably be the one that you probably look at. But so far, right, full time frame continuity is bullish. Quarter, month, and week is bullish. We get a 2-2 continuation. And then on the daily, right, we end up going outside as well. Right. So the only thing about outside candles is that you also have to be prepared for consolidation. I'm not saying it's going to automatically happen, but not right after, but usually after expansion, you have consolidation, right? So you just have to be prepped for that. If not, I mean, if anything, if it's going to continue the trend, we'll get that 3-2 up. Weekly entry, same as daily entry. So I'm not really going to, mark that out. And then daily entry down here to the put side is going to be at 1982. So for me, if it were to go put side 1982, I'll probably target the 19 put if I'm choosing weeklies. It hits 1923 and possibly lower. That's great. If I'm looking to swing it, a month out or whatever, then I'm looking at 1612. To the call side, again, taking entry at 2118. Your next target is going to be, I believe, this target on the daily. And that's actually a pivot machine gun as well too. So yeah, there's a lot of There's a lot of pivot machine guns on the way back up, so definitely a good watch for sure. DMAX, so 2175. But again, because of his ATR being at 122, honestly, I'm probably going to look at the weekly target as my contract target, right? I'll probably go for the 25 call. It lands right between both the weekly and the monthly price target as well. And if you're trying to go a couple weeks out, give yourself some time for that 25 call. It's an ATR of $1.22. Yes, sweetheart. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. I'm coming right now. 1 second, guys. All right, I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. Um, where was I? Oh, so yeah, the 25 call is probably where I would go. Let me see. Yes. Drake, damn, I love yeah, Snow is definitely something that I've been watching for a minute now. It hasn't really, I'm not ready to like get it but boy, do I want to swing on that. Boy, oh, because the run up is gonna
Man,
be,
the only thing about snow, bro. Remember, I guess what about 2 months ago I was on that shit hard and
yeah,
fucked around and ain't do it. But
yeah,
I like I do like the setup on it, and the structure of it.
yes,
I really like them I really like a lot of them cloud tickers out of IGV, Bug Sector,
yep,
and you,
FCLD,
yeah.
yep. Yeah, like because I love like that's why I stress I really want to stress to y'all the sector watching, like for real, because you'll start noticing patterns of like when this sector's up, this sector's down, or when like a sector's just been getting beaten up for a little bit. And obviously, like you don't want to enter immediately, but you can see it's been getting beaten up, allowing you to like maybe get a swing to the upside or a sector that was like tech, right? When it was running or chips, right before that retracement. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know
yeah,
what's dope about some of these sectors and just knowing how to chart? I know we all generally, trade the stock options, man, but you can literally make a hell of a bag just going find them good companies that just been beaten up and you know that it's going nowhere, bro. Just buy a hell of a lot of shares in this shit and just
yep,
literally sit on the motherfuckers.
yep. And like I mean, I'm not jumping in it right now, but and I know it's like right now they just keep getting really bad shit happening to them, but I don't think Boeing's going anywhere. Let me just say that. I know it seems
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm never touching that motherfucker with a 100,000 foot pole.
I'm not talking for options. You said buy shares.
I ain't buying no shares in that motherfucker neither. Fuck that. Uh-uh.
But yeah, like just think about it like that. Think about companies that
Hold
again,
up. He
like Tal said,
says,
please watch the video we have in our
no,
link.
Big
Oh,
Show says, are you watching the sectors from an aerial view of FinTwist?
no.
So, no, I mean, we generally chart the sectors the same way that you would chart your tickers, and you go and look for which sectors are bullish, which sectors are beaten up, or the weakest or whatever. And we play the market like that.
So for
Or
example,
we do have a strat bot. Hold up, we do have a strat bot, and you can chart the sectors. Yeah, I mean, how else you think we find a play? We need. So I'll say this here, and I'm not talking down on scanners, etc., or nothing like that. So we do have the strat bot in the Discord. Where we search for holy grails. Well, I'm gonna say me myself personally, holy grails, which are 3 1s, nirvanas 1 3s, double insides on a weekly time frame, 2 day time frame, etc. Whichever time frame that you like, or search for the hammers or the shooters. You know, but man, I feel like it's fairly easy. And I'm sort of old school where I'm gonna chart them shits. Yeah, you got a lot of scanners that would, scan all this shit for you, bro, but nothing, in my opinion, bro, beats just, charting this shit. You
yeah.
know, being brutally honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, what I do is I chart the sectors, and then if I do run the scans, I'll probably pay attention to the tickers from those sectors, right? Because obviously, if you run a scan and let's say you get 15 tickers, I'm not expecting you to, I mean, if you got the time to chart all 15, but I kind of zero in on the ones from the sectors that I like. So if I like industrials, for example, I'm going to be looking at, if I run scans, I'm looking for like Cat or John Deere or GE or UPS or FedEx, right? Or if I see like, oh, chips about to run, y'all should probably know this by now, but NVIDIA, AMD, Micron, probably not Intel, but TSM, right? Just you start recognizing like, okay, this sector is doing this right now. And I'm gonna come back to IGV, for example, but this is what originally got me onto Google, seeing what the sector was doing. Again, higher time frames again went out. They the big dogs telling you exactly, where price wants to go. So on a quarter, and again, we closed this quarterly candle at the end of nope, Monday. Monday is when we close the quarterly candle, right? So Monday heading into Tuesday, this candle closes, but looking at the way it's setting up, it's a 2-2 continuation, right? We actually attempted to attack previous quarters open, and that failed, and so we end up with the hammer, assuming that it closes like this, we end up with a hammer actionable signal in the quarter. We also get a hammer on the month, right? Next week Monday, the month closes. On the week, we have a 2-2 reversal, but I had looked at this probably last week. I don't know when I posted it in my channel, but it probably wasn't this week, it was probably last week, right? So seeing how that candle set up, right? And then again, looking at the daily, I'm sorry, that was for Google. My apologies. Actually, honestly, if I'm looking at the sectors, I'm probably not paying too much attention to the daily because I'm really looking at what the higher time frames are doing. So from there, you can start again, forming, start looking at tickers from that particular sector, and that's how you can find your plays. Um, but yeah, that's essentially how you do it, right? If you want to chart the daily, you can. I usually just stick to the quarter, month, and the week. Just again, what are the higher time frames telling me? Are they in confirmation with each other? Or are they in conflict? And what I mean by conflict is like your week might be up, your month is down, your quarter is up. That's conflict. Um, I'm not saying don't trade that, but it's probably not a high probability situation if you are trying to trade it. Strat wise, we try to trade when the trend is in confirmation with each other. So in other words, a quarter, the month, and the week, and depending on what type of trader you are, if you're doing like dailies, and the daily are all in confirmation with each other. All right. Sorry, let me see what's up in the chat. 10-4, thank you. Yep. So yeah, we talked about you. I think there was one more ticker. I'm sorry, let me see. No, we did. We looked at Google, we looked at you. Okay, cool. Good. Okta, yes, thank you. Jesus, I knew it was freaking bothering me. Thanks, X. Okay, Okta. Let's go ahead and take a look at the month real quick. So again, we trade objectively, right? We're seeing the uptrend. However, the month is coming back down. Came back down on the retracement. We're looking at a 2-2. We're looking at a 2-2 continuation to the downside. However, I would still pay attention to this and see how the month closes, right? This wouldn't necessarily deter me just because I'm seeing the exhaustion from the downside. And then the month is not closed. A lot can happen in a week and a day, 6 days, right? So I would want to see how this closes. Now, if this closes not in force and it closes bullish, then I'm probably going to be thinking possible reversal back to the upside on the monthly. All right. If I'm looking at the week, we get the 2-2 reversal. So what do? We made a lower low right here. So if you want on the weekly, just to give you an example of a broad information from the downside, right? And then if you wanted to, actually technically we'll be back here because we're just making lower highs here. So boom, boom, right? So that's your range. As you can see, we're at the lower part of the range. So the idea behind that with broad informations is that price is ever expanding. It's a series of higher highs and lower lows, right? If you draw your broad information, you'll see it, right? Accumulation, then we get expansion. Lower low made, higher high made, right? Accumulation, then we get expansion. Lower low, and then possibly higher high, right? So just a series of higher highs and lower lows. Price is just ever expanding, right? But again, on the weekly, you get that 2-2 reversal, and then on the daily, we're looking at, my bad, clicked on the wrong thing. On the daily, we're getting a 2 down, not quite a hammer, but I mean, yeah, that's pretty damn good, right? You get a 2 down, so you're looking at that reversal back to the upside. I'm not purposely not charting this one out because I want you guys, if you want to use this as a case study, start charting it out yourself, right? Use Okta, chart it out yourself, put it in a group, put it in a chart.
One thing that I highly suggest to or recommend is that, if you, I'm gonna say, taking a play or whatever, but you don't totally believe in it yourself, man, just either just buy one contract or literally just paper trade it, you know. And I say this, I know everyone wants to make money, but let's be real. We all feel like dicks or asses, what I'm saying, when we get our ass smoked. So if you ever come across that and you have an idea of what it could do, man, look here. It's best to miss out than to lose money, or literally lose a little money, Just buy one contract on things. I don't recommend going, I know my mantra is drop your nuts and load the boat, but you realistically can't do that if you don't know why, I'm going to say, a particular play caller like them plays with her, you know. And what I tell some people in Discord, damn, why I like to play. Why do you, the individual, like to play? And that's going to, keep you from losing money or whatever. Then I also say, I don't do no training.
You know, I accept my risk going in before I go into the play. You know, but can you accept the loss if we lose? You know, so you need to be trimming 20, 30, 40, 50%. And at some point on them charts, you need to be down on runners.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, you can start practicing that, right? Which is, once you get um, first or second target, depending on the ATR, you can, start trimming at that point. And again, let runners do runners. It really is, in my opinion, stress-free trading, or as close to stress-free trading as possible. Because if you get your investment back and then some, you know what I'm saying, and then you have runners still, like, yeah, it's, I mean, it's technically not playing with house money, but kind of in that sense, it kind of is. Um, we're just at the 50% too. Okay, no problem. All right, so looking at the month, inside hammer on the month, right? Actionable signal, right? So we are making higher lows and also higher highs since this swing pivot here, right? Because I don't think this one actually got below it. So this would be your swing pivot, right? And swing pivot is just, you're making lower lows here, and then you make a low, and then you finally make a higher low, right? So price just basically swung to the other side, right? A good indicator to show you swing pivots, I don't have it on right now, but it would be where is it? Where is it? I have so many favorites, damn. Inducement stop hunts, right? But you would just take off show stop
Take off the yeah, take off that crap
and
there.
then put show fractal highs and lows, right? So then, it'll show you swing pivots, right? So obviously it's going to show you every single one, but for me, the reason why I'm zeroing on it's just the lowest one, right? Before, right here we made lower lows, and then this is the lowest one, and then we finally made a higher low as well. So I'm looking at that swing pivot. Since that point, trend has changed. And so again, we're making higher highs as we go. So the idea is, again, same thing, right? We get the inside. Obviously it's not going to be immediately in one candle, but you would mark out your entries, and then your next target from the highs would be the very next high if you're doing it strat wise. And the same thing for the lows. You mark out your low entry, your next monthly target would be the very next low as well too. All right, so we get um, nice actionable signal there, and then on the weekly, we get the 2-2 reversal as well, back to the upside. So we are looking to TTO back to the upside. There is a zoom on TTO, so I suggest you go, look what that is if you don't know what a TTO is. Um, but yeah, looking at TTO back to the upside. And again, same thing. You still mark out your entries, mark out your targets, right, as well too. When I'm marking out targets, I do take the ATR into consideration, especially with daily targets, because I'm not going to mark out because I'm going to mark out realistic targets, right? If a ticker has an ATR of like $5, I'm not going to mark out a target that's $1 away. Really doesn't make sense to me to mark it out, and it kind of clutters up the chart. But yeah, net gives you the 2-2 reversal on the week, and then bearish hammer, but still a hammer. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. But yeah, again, you're seeing the trend, the downtrend here. We get that swing pivot back to the upside, and we've been making higher lows since that point, holding support on the way up. So the idea would be is that even if it does pull back, right, I would look for exhaustion at the lows here. If that happens, then yeah, I'll take the reversal back to the upside. Full time frame continuity is not exactly where I want it to be. However, if you look at the quarter, look how, thin that is from quarterly open to close. I mean, this could easily close bullish, right? So if it does close bullish, the quarter will then go in bullish favor. Monthly would be already bullish, week would already be bullish as well too. And then the daily, as you can see, if we take the quarter up, the daily's more than likely going to be green as well too. So And yeah, again, I'm not gonna, tell you what contract to get into or anything. I'm gonna say use this as a case study, put it in what is it, the chart member channel, right? Put your own analysis out there. I'm gonna challenge you to be bold, right? Everybody worried about putting their analysis about it being stupid or dumb or whatever, although nobody's gonna make fun of you, but I get it, it's kind of like coming to the front of the class, right? So be bold, put your analysis out there. And see if somebody gives you a different perspective. It's only going to make you a better trader. Get rid of the ego. All right. Let me see. Do we have any questions? Yep. You can also just buy a few shares. That way you'll still have a motion tied to you. There you go. All right. How
What do
frequent?
you mean? Yeah, I was just about to go. You can answer.
Well, I mean, yeah, what do you mean? Like in a Zoom session like this? I mean, I'd say Sal probably joins every Zoom that I join, and I know when Sal does Zooms, I try to join every single one of them. So I'm not sure if you mean it like that or if you mean like how often do we personally chart? Like, so I chart honestly daily, like I mean,
Hold on, you talking about? Come on the mic show.
What's going on?
what's up?
Not much, brother.
All right, so pretty much my question is, when you guys, so I've been in Discords before, and I'm fairly new, so I've been burned in Discords before, but I'm still at my
Mhm.
learning curve. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering, do you all chart together on Zoom calls like weekly, or how frequently do y'all come together and kind of like have
We
these opportunities to learn?
so like being transparent, we do it weekly. Sometimes depending on how I feel, I'll do them at night, but it'll be like late night sessions and shit. I'm talking about till like 2 in the morning. Um, it's not a everyday type of thing or whatever, but everyone knows what to chart, homework wise and stuff like that. I mean, realistically, bro, we could do it every day. It's just that how many people gonna come to the sessions, how many people are gonna actually talk. That's one problem that I've personally been having. Because me as a trader and an educator, man, that shit boring as hell. Seem like you just drawn, you know, like you talking to yourself, when no one is talking.
Yeah.
I feel that, and I'm really good at like I won't say really good, but I've gotten much better at my charting. I'm just not at a place of profitability, so I'm trying to find a place where I can actually like learn. I don't really want to like be a part of a group where it's just plays being given out. So I appreciate that y'all
Yeah,
actually sit down and do the charting so you can see how to go and find it. It's kind of like a teach a man to fish type situation. So that's why I asked the question.
Yep.
yeah, that's totally understandable. See, like you ask questions. Sax. I ain't talking shit to Sax or whatever, but like Sax asks a good bit of questions too. In a Discord daily.
Yep.
And so that lets me know that hey, this particular individual really wants this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That you're not going through the motion, that you're not just hopping in plays just because I'm gonna say I like it or whatever.
Yep.
Now I'll be transparent with this too. So like I'll post my levels or whatever, but I'm scalping. So scalps, man, let's be real. You can't really alert that damn shit. You know, I've been much better at it, but I mean shit, a 5-6 minute trade, I can't type out the field and all this shit quickly, you know? It's damn near impossible to alert every single play that I'm personally.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in the world right now know that I'm trading either QQQ or SPY each and every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Now, it might be
Man,
something.
listen, check me out. Spy been kicking my ass, dog. When I tell you, I don't know what's been going on with their volatility, but I'm with you. And I actually picked that up from you. Like you tweeted one day, um, you was like, it don't take a lot of tickers. Stick to one ticker and just use it.
It
And I
don't.
promise you, since you said that, I have not like looked at another ticker. I've been on Spy for probably going on probably a good 2-3 months now. And I had my good weeks and I had my real bad weeks. So
Man, so I'll tell you this here too. Within the first 5-6 minutes of the market, you can always guarantee me to get in a play. You know what I'm saying? And this might be a 3-4 minute play where it run up 30-40% but you got to take them profits quickly, very quickly. I'm talking about you can't think about what your strike price is or hesitate on what you're gonna do, or you got to have the game plan already set. Like this was Friday, the day after FOMC. Man, within minutes of the market, I had scored me a nice little bag. I'm talking about within minutes of the market, first 10 minutes of the market. Now, had I grabbed my normal 20, 30 contracts, my day literally would have been over right then and there. At the opening bell, bro, you always have profit taking or whatever else. You know what I'm saying? So although the day ended bullish, you have a lot of institutions, a lot of people getting out of them profits. So that shit gonna automatically go down. Now you can do this with highly volatile tickers too, as far as scalping and just playing things out of the money. A ticker like Tesla, you can realistically, like when that shit spike or get a big volume thing, man, you could realistically choose them strike prices for dirt cheap, $20 out the money. And I know y'all might be like, oh man, I don't know about that. I know he a dope trader, but man, he's smoking that pipe or something. Man, I promise you, Tesla, your Teslas, your I'm gonna say SMCIs a lot of times. AVGO when it was on this hell of a run, a few of them them volatile ones though. But like I say, you cannot stay in them opening bell tickers. You cannot, stay in them shits long. You got to take your profits. Tesla, even still today, each and every opening bell, bro. AMD a lot of times does it as well too. I'd rather scout AMD more so versus Nvidia. Yeah, you're right. It's not for the uncertain or the greedy. Because you're not gonna get I'm gonna say high percentages unless something crazy happens. You know, unless not intraday you can do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I got really. Um, unless there was any other questions. I'll probably drop the sector review after I put my daughter down for her nap. I'll put out the link for the sector review if anybody wants to join that. If not, then it'll be posted in the group, but then also on the YouTube as well too.
Man, shoot me a message, bro.
Hey, you
All right.
already ahead of me, man, because I'm literally writing you at this moment.
What
Appreciate that.
what's my
Yeah,
thought process on Celsius?
man. So Celsius had got beaten up a little bit. I don't have me personally. I think it's gonna end up running up, but that's not a ticker that I've traded a whole lot either.
um honestly, strat wise, I don't see, like, other than the fact that it's at lows, I don't see a reason to jump. It's not a high probability trade for me just yet. If I were to do it just based on the strat, this is not a high probability trade to go bullish. Full time frame continuity is against you. There's no signs of exhaustion from the lows. Um, looking at, let's see, daily. Uh, I mean, yeah, I know you get an inside candle here, but that's an exhausted two up. If anything, that's more set up for a 1 to 2 rep strat back to the downside. And then the month is, it's exhausting from the low here, but not enough for me. It's still ending 2 down and 4. So yeah, this with me would still be a watch. I mean, I get it, right? It's a big drop, right? So obviously there's the shorts that got in up here are going to probably start looking at taking profit probably at the next low. Although obviously it's not a guarantee, but yeah, probably at the next low, you'll probably see some profit taking, probably getting out of trades, or I can't use that terminology. But yeah, right now though, no, it's not me. It's not some, if anything, I would want to short this for right now, but not short it for a very long time. I'll probably like just grab some quick shorts, maybe targeting this low right here, probably get the 30 put or something like that. But yeah, unless there's some news there or some catalyst that's going to come out to reverse this trend. And even then, if it does, I wouldn't be the first one in on that. I would wait for possibly retracement and then a flip back to the upside for me to want to take that. Let me see. Sorry, let's try ICT. So adding the strat and ICT, I'm not going to answer that on this video. We're sticking to the strat and talking only about the strat. All right.
I see an individual asks about INTC. Me personally, I'm never gonna touch that. I know it scored a lot of people a big bag recently, but man, think about it, man. 20 years, man, that company has not done shit. I think it needs a whole upper management change, or just like Nike did.
And that's
There's
actually why you saw that run up on at the end of the day on Fridays, because I believe I read the articles that Qualcomm was approaching INTC, I believe, to buy it out. So therefore it would have new management for Intel. So that probably is what gave you that
that's
bullish.
yeah, that's the only way I would like it or want to be
Yeah.
involved with it.
But the reason why, just to explain, since you're asking why I did not exit the trade that I'm in, is one, because of time. But then if you look at this gap fill, it's rejected once, one time, two, three, four times, right? So we'll see what happens. Um, we'll see what happens on the next week or whatever. But yeah, it's that's been holding us some pretty decent resistance. So my idea is that we either keep pushing or we reject to hit a certain target of mine, and then we go from there. Now, I actually intend to do this kind of twofold, right? Because I do know that we're at lows as well too. Again, when you're looking at the higher time frame, right? The month is currently not enforced, but it's still bullish. And then obviously, um, I'm not going to ignore the exhaustion from the downside right here as well too. So I actually intend to play this two ways, bullish as well too. But again, I'm not going to call it out until I see the bullish setup that I'm looking for. All right. Any other questions? I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to get out of the swing, fine. I just, like I said, I got time on it. Um, and yeah, still didn't invalidate for me. The invalidation for me was seeing displacement into the gap fill, but yeah, it hasn't done that yet.
Can I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is Kim. I just wanted to add, just based on what the gentleman was asking before about charting and all of that. I mean, I just want to say, me personally, I think it's so much value in this Discord. The various providers, you have options, pun intended, but you have options on who you want to follow because everybody has their own style. I don't think not everybody trades a strat in there, but if you do trade a strat and that's what you want to trade, even when you think you know the strat, you come in there and you learn more. And like some things I never heard about that before, or or it's called, whatever it is, you learn so much more. But there are so many different channels that you can tap into, and I don't think that everybody uses everything in there to its full capability. But the sessions that Tensho has that are valuable. He gives a lot of his time with a heavy schedule. Sal his heart is huge. And like I said, the people in there that provide various plays, you don't really want a Discord that only calls out. And they will drop some plays, but it's still on you as a trader or responsible trader to look at that chart yourself. Some stuff like yesterday, Tensho mentioned was it Avgo, AVGO?
Yeah.
And I had it on my chart and I took it down. And when you mentioned it, that's when I was able to just jump in quick. But I still looked at it and I saw, oh, on the daily, if it break over this level, I'm in. And then I think it was another time frame, I can't remember offhand. And I said it. Now it gave me grief throughout the day, but that thing paid at the end of the day. So it's things like that. You can't have your eyes everywhere. So when you see a play drop, check your charts and all that. But man, it's so much. The education channels, the homework that's provided is so much in there that can grow you as a trader. or even established traders. It's just value, period.
Thank you. I
I
appreciate it.
definitely, I definitely
You're
appreciate
welcome.
that comment. Especially coming from a member as well. Because I've been frustrated. I'm gonna say, and I guess I don't know. Maybe some people may say I shouldn't say it, but it's like, man, I give out a lot of stuff and plays, or I'll be like, I like this play here, but I'm not gonna be in it. And like Tesla, I mentioned days ago, when it just ran crazy, I said, man, within a week or so, whatever, the way Tesla is coiled is due for, like a $15 day. Well, not too many people in the Discord ended up getting into the play, you know, and to see that to happen, but it's like everyone wants to, play the markets, make money and shit. But if I say I'm not in it, man, people don't be getting in it for whatever reason. I mean, we got a lot of dope, I'm gonna say, annas, playmakers, or play callers, whatever you want to call them, in the Discord. Don't just getting played based on me, my analysis, or whether I'm getting in or out of a play, or based on anyone. Base that on yourself. Because you could be potentially missing $10,000, $15,000, and I think $10,000, $15,000 would make everyone in here happy. No matter how much money that you already have.
Facts. Anthony, to answer your question, it depends on my target, right? So if my target is like, let's say a weekly target, I'm probably going monthly or 2 weeks out, 2 weeks to a month, right? Monthly, I'm probably looking at, 2 to 3 months out. Quarterly, I'm probably looking at honestly leaps or 6 months if I'm talking minimum. So it's kind of like doubling. Like if I have a weekly target, at minimum, you're going to do 2 weeks. You have a monthly target, at minimum, you're going to do 2 months. If you have a quarterly target, at minimum, you're going to do, 6, if that makes sense. Looking at your broader information makes me think about timing a perfect reversal where a stock makes a lower low and then respects bounce off in the higher time frame. Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? No buts. Yep. Strat wise, yes.
So Sachs is fairly new to the strat, and that's why he want more stuff. He comes from already knowing ICT, but he doesn't know the strat.
Right. Okay, in that case, yeah, I don't need to mention that part because it was really gonna be about the ICT part of it. But yeah, with the strat, yeah, when you see a broad information, that's why, and especially on broad informations on higher time frames, I always say don't delete them immediately, even if they do get violated, right? Because on the higher time frame, that candle may not be closed. You know what I'm saying? So if it gets violated on a daily or weekly, but that candle is still open and you drew it on, let's say, the monthly, um, don't delete it immediately, right? Because like you said, Sax, that could end up exhausting and coming back into the range, giving you that I'm thinking of a shooter because I'm thinking of the highs. But if you're talking about lows, yeah, you would see a hammer, and yeah, that ends up being the start to your potential reversal back to the upside at that lows. Angie, go ahead.
Hey, good evening. So I just wanted to hop on quickly and say that as for the Zamunda Discord, we have been working behind the scenes to optimize the channels. I'm sure you guys have seen some channels being removed or unlisted. We are also working on the Zamunda University section. So for now, as you can already, if you go in there we have the library index, which have all the classes that we've done, or most of the classes that we've done for now, neatly listed below each other. So they've also been sectioned off into sections. So we have like ICT, options, futures, the strat, and basics. So that way you are able to navigate the Discord, and you're also able to find the classes on what your particular issue or point is that you're having, that you need to work on. So as you know, one of the guy was mentioned, I think it was a lady that was saying, that we have a lot of value in the group. So just keep an eye on the things that are changing, and we're making it better for you guys, to help you guys, like, not needing to navigate as much. So the Zamunda University is definitely something that you have to check out on a daily, or at least until we start, because we're now busy revamping the stuff. But that's definitely a session that you need to be in quite frequently on your off days or on your off hours, and rewatch those videos as much as you need. So if you see some things move around, change, we've been working behind the scenes, and we hope that you guys will be able to love it even more and help and navigate it even easier to, shorten your learning curve that you're currently having. Thank you.
And I personally want to, in front of everybody, thank you because you've helped me a lot. The
You
same
have
way how I talk to Tensho every morning, I talk to her as well.
you've
You
been a
know,
godsend, Angie, for real, for real. Love the like I love it. I swear. It's amazing.
and, and I'm a shout out to Trenton here. I see Sax talking about them indicators. That indicator that I use a lot, that I be telling y'all a lot about, that 50% come. He's the one who made it.
Boom. All right. Yeah, so unfortunately I do need to go. My daughter is waiting for me to take her outside for the scootering, and that's important. So I'll be back on again. I do have a one-on-one at 4. I'll try to get back on at 3 for the sector review. Anybody interested, I'll drop it in. And then we'll go from there. But if there's any questions, don't hesitate to DM. um you could DM me, whatever, that's cool. Or again, if you bold, put it out in the group, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, like a lot of y'all, and I'm sure Sal can testify to this, like a lot of y'all ask the same questions over and over. It's just coming from different people. So if you guys put it out in the group and we answer in the group format, that'll save a lot, right? I'm just saying. Anyway, love, peace, and chicken grease. One last thing I wanted to talk about, since we got some new people in here, if we talk about the mental part of trading, please work on that as well too. Please make sure that you're reading your books, Trading in the Zone. We actually have I don't know where it is because Angie's been doing some reorganization, but we actually do have a book section where we talk about different books. Trading the Zone is one of them I definitely recommend. Zen Trader's another one I definitely recommend. All right, Audible, read it, whatever.
It's
Okay,
still there. It's on the community. It's
perfect.
on the book club.
Perfect. All right. Y'all have a
The
y'all have a
path.
good
Hold up. Another book that I recommend to people is The Path to Success in Trading too, that I just picked up recently.
there you go. You know the author, Sal, off the top, or no?
Nah, I don't, but I can get the author names.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, yeah, so they could, like, if they look it up on Audible, they can find it by the author if they can't find the title. All right, y'all. This will take a little bit to convert. I did not expect it to be so long. It's an hour and a half. So give me a little bit. Angie, do you want me to send the video to you, or do you want me to just
Yes, please.
okay, I'll send it to you one second.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Have a good one. See y'all soon.